Hello everybody! Today we're gonna finally look at the winter movie of the Geats and Gotchard, or crossover movie. And about time we actually finally got to be able to be seen and translated because it's been a long time for it. Let's jump on in and we start with a rainy day with someone crying over a dog dying. And we see the person in the rain in front of a doghouse, but not really seeing who he is or what the word or the name of the dog, when a red orb appears from behind, looking after him. And we then see our Gotchard gang investigating an abandoned restaurant, all of them except Hotaro, and they look around for Chemy, as Minato asks them like where Hotaro is, which is a pretty good question. And Rina pretty much answers that he pretty much overslept, as we see him trying to leave the house by putting on like his shoes and all that, actually putting Hopper 1 inside of his bag and trying to leave the house. But it's stopped by his mother, and he's trying to start to ask about what his final is like, because she found Hotaro's final in the garbage, and pretty much all have failing grades, or like I guess his second semester or something like that. I tried to ask what this all about, like how he got all these failing grades and all that. And Hotaro tried to leave and brush off his mother, like even calling her dumb and all that, which making her snap, saying that she doesn't care about him at all, or his gotcha, to just go ahead and just leave and never actually think about it. But Hotaro decided to do so, fuming about it, and decided to leave as well, calling her dumb and all that. You know, the average kid's response. It actually just leaves. He needs to go join his friends. Speaking of friends and Spanner, we see our gang find the Chemy eating some food, being Bochi Mama, something like that. Pretty much a giant plant, like a Venus fly, like a type of carnivorous plant. And tried to run, but it crashed into Hotaro, which allows Rina to capture it in like a garbage can, which she does and later absorbs it. And we see the red orb from the beginning of the movie looking after them and watching over them. It's interesting trying to see what that red orb is. And all our characters try to chat that Hotaro was being late. Yamato appear in front of them dressed as like wizard's clothes. But then Azuma comes in and tries to fight off the Yamato, like pushing them back, telling them that they're Yamato. And more of our writers appear, being Keiwa and Neon. Interestingly, Azuma doesn't have his hair, like his long hair. His hair is pretty short in this movie, so yeah. I saw Keiwa and Neon having a different style of hair, which makes sense because I guess they were in other acting projects and now the hair is going to be back to normal for the most part. Anyway, Keiwa and Neon appear to join with Azuma, and all of them transform to fight. It's pretty cool to see that we haven't seen them transform in quite a while, unless you actually see the Yamato awakening a couple weeks ago, so it hasn't been that long. And they all fight the Yamatos, as Ace appears saying that they're Kamen Riders, and does a pretty cool little pose on the edge of a railing. And drops down, doing with some CGI to transform into Geats, Boost Magnum form, and helps fight against the Yamato. And we see Hotaro Spanner turn into Gotchard and Valveron to help out in the fight. As we get the intro to the film, which is pretty cool to see all of our writers all together with the winter movie, and we see some cool fight scenes with all of our writers as Hotaro turns into all of his form, like wrestler and all that, and fights some of the Yamato, throwing team up with some funny scenes that Neon's like ear gets on fire at one point, and also Ace turning into a monster form, and Azuma using a pretty cool like poison charge using a Yamato's head to like make the chainsaw activate. It's pretty cool to see. It has some nice funny character moments, like Hotaro praising Ace's colors when he uses the monster in Magnum form, and also Hotaro interacting with Neon, trying to take down one of the Yamato, trying to like apologize and make each one of them try to take him out. But Hotaro decided to just say screw it, just grabs Neon's little guitar thing for her beat form and just uses it to just knock the Yamato over to the sky. It's pretty cool to see, and we have a nice overhead shot of the battle happening. It's pretty awesome. And Banner also has a pretty cool fight with a cool dark scene with no light. And I think it's pretty cool to see him fight against all the Yamatos. As Hotaro rides on one of Ace's giant little fists formed from his monster finisher form, and actually rides it all the way up to the roof and uses his cool finisher with one of the gold machine thing, and uses it to defeat all of the Yamatos appearing in the really cool rider finisher, with Azuma and Keiwa also joining in the fun to take down some of the Yamatos as well with their own finisher. After the whole battle, Hotaro introduces himself as, Hotaro, and Ace also introduces himself, and the Yamato disappears, showing that they are not the regular Yamato. And then 5 Chemys appear with the X on it, or the cross, all being level 10. And they all jump from being attacked and see that all of them are the similar Ultimate Chemy as Sabi pointed out, as similar to X-Rex and UFO X. As suddenly, all of our riders are attacked by a light. that makes them all de-transform, specifically Spanner, Hotaro, and Ace, with the crosses disappearing. And Azuma, Neon, and Keiwa had transformed to become marketable plushies of their rider form, being the animal. Azuma becomes a bull, Neon becomes a cat, and Keiwa a tanuki. And Ace sees somebody laugh and decides to leave and makes him chase after them. All of our gang go to an abandoned building, being an alchemy researcher location, like a test site. As Sumuri comes in and tells them what's going on, as she sees her friends be the marketable plushie that they are. As they explain to them about what the Chemys are to the Geats cast and how they've been capturing them for a while. And we actually see the person who transformed them being ex-wizard. They're turning the, 3 riders from Geats turned into Chemy. Saying that she's also another level 10. And interestingly, she's voiced by a really well-known voice actress in anime, being Rei Takahashi. Pretty interesting that she's actually being voiced by it. Now just waiting for her to just say explosion or something. Did you get the reference of that? I applaud you guys. But anyway, she's another level 10 user, and Hotaro is just happy that she found a Chemy that can talk like a human. And tried to get some questions out of her, answer to his question, how does it feel, how does it think, how does it feel to be inside of a car. And as she tells them that she actually wants to play with them, Hotaro says gotcha, which makes Ace question what the gotcha means. Wizard wonders why Ace wasn't transformed to a Chemy as well. And I just think that maybe because he's a god, that's why he's unaffected by it. But later on in the movie, I guess that's not the case. And Ace doesn't want to play at all. But then Wizard states that, I guess that his friends are going to stay as Chemys for the rest of their lives. So yeah, they pretty much are hostages. So then she starts the game as she makes doors appear, which is 5 of them, saying that behind each door contains a level 10. And they have to all capture them in order to win the game. I even warned them from the show, saying that, level 10 can't be subjugated at all. Wait, it doesn't make sense because Hotaro is already convinced 2 exes already to join him. So yeah, in the actual show. And Hotaro is excited to actually play this game. And they all form teams with alchemists because only the alchemist can capture the Chemys. So yeah, we have the team being Azuma and Spanner, Keiwa and Hotaro, and then Sabi, Hirenge with Neon. And we're going to do the team of Ace and Rine. A CGI fox appears next to both of them. And Hotaro actually feels weird of recognizing it, as Ace doesn't want to work with the pet. He doesn't work with pets at all. But seems to follow him, which is pretty cute to see. And pretty much say that if he doesn't actually stop following him, he'll eat him up, turning him into some sort of soup. Which is actually shocking Hotaro, but then Ace just says he's just playing with Hotaro, just tricked him. And Rin places is the Chemy, being, we're gonna call him Kon, and all they say is Kon. As part of the team, puts him inside a car, when everybody else also turns forward into a car, or to all go through their doors. And Hotaro actually grabs Keiwa and follows Ace as the Chemy capture game starts. We then see Minato looking over the Chemy, wondering what's happening, but we see Inspector Kugemiya say that it is an opportunity to capture Chemy, and to not worry about the kids too much, as they should be independent from that, as Minato still wondered about who created Kon. Which is pretty interesting that nobody had actually answered that question. We first see Sabi, Renge, and Neon, little team in the beach, and here exceed Fighter. And they can't actually capture it as it's too fast for them. But then Renge believes in her gut and decides to let out Neon to help them out. And she actually does, Neon using her ears in her rider form to hear Fighter. And actually uses it in an attack to capture it, but doesn't work as she gets carried away by the plane. And we then see Azuma and Spanner's team, wondering, not actually working together at all. That Spanner says that he's just using Azuma as a tool. And we see the X coming in being a lion that had electricity power. And Spanner decides to just throw Azuma to the floor and then turns into Valbrod to fight it off. But doesn't seem to work out as well because he starts to get one-shotted by it. And Azuma decides to use his own power to go inside the little Valbrod sword in order to transform some of his hands to come out. And pretty much saves them both, which leads them to leave out of them and to not get attacked by Lion anymore. And we see Ace and Rine team find X-Fortress, who interestingly is actually voiced by the Kiva Bat himself, from Kara Kiva, Tomokazu Sugita. It's pretty nice to have him come back as a voice actor, as Keiwa and Hotaro are there to look after them and actually try to see what's happening. And Hotaro wants to one-up Ace for his tricks. And I'm just saying that that's not happening anytime soon. And we go back to Neon, Renge, and Sabi's team working together. And we have Neon de-transform back to a cat. and she learns about them being artificial life, which seems to get serious for a little bit, as Sabi says that fighter likes spots to relax with their open area. And Neon actually uses some of his power to actually rent out an entire airfield with her money. And we see a pretty fun little scene with John being there, using a weird moment to actually drag in to show that there's nobody there, as they all wait for her Exceed fighter to come. And it's pretty sad that there's no Ben, unfortunately. It's sad, but at least we have John, so that's cool at least. As Sabi and Renge pretty much scared and shocked about the amount of money this whole corporation that Neon is part of has. And they all get a message from John saying that Exceed fighter is here, and they all prepare to capture it. And which actually does, as the Exceed fighter comes in with looking at the little, the gasoline tank that they actually prepared. And Renge and Sabi decide to capture it and try to lock it up, but then Neon actually decided to free it, saying that she feels bad and in pain. It actually makes sense since it's artificial life, and kind of like Neon for the original show of Kamen Rider Geats also being artificial life. So I guess that's a little nice moment that it actually showed that she actually cared about it and decided to free it. And Fighter actually takes a liking to her and decided to join them of their own free will. It's pretty cool to see, but I actually think it's a little too fast for them to actually join it. But again, we don't have enough time. We have too much thing to do, and only an hour 30 movie, so we gotta move things along. But I do like the little scene between all of them together like this, so I guess that's pretty nice, I guess. But anyway, it is pretty cool to have one of the Chemys actually liking one of the Geats cast, so that's pretty cool, I guess. We did see Ozma and Spanner actually continue to argue, and Ozma is going to win no matter what, as Spanner agrees to use Ozma, but not the way he intended, and he's just using her as bait. He releases him from his little capture card, or as Lion appears and decides to attack Ozma with all the electricity, as Spanner decides to follow through it. And it starts to fry Ozma until he actually starts to lose some electricity, and Spanner transforms into his Valbarod form and then uses his own power with the shovel and the helicopter propeller thing to take down Lion, capturing it. And Ozma pretty much turned back into his plushy form and still pretty much furious about the way that Spanner used him, saying that he'll get him back later. And don't worry guys, he never gets him back later. It's sad. We then come back to Ace and Rine continuing to look over Fortress, and we then see Hotaru and Keiwa try to go in for a chance to take over, to get one up on Ace. But then they'll get too much as Fortress actually pinpoints them and starts shooting at them, as Ace smiles, showing them how foolish they are. And Rina tried to conceal it, but it doesn't work, showing that it's not his real body. And A decides to use propeller to make both of them go inside to find out where the real body is. And Hotaru and Keiwa continue to be blasted by Fortress. There's a pretty cool wide lens on the bottom, pretty cool to see it. Just see our two unlucky riders work together and just getting destroyed. And we see both of them come inside pretty much being battered and bruised, and Ace and Rine eat the ramen that was actually used a promotion back in the Geats show. You know, the Geats Tycoon flavor, the Tanuki and QB flavor. But it doesn't actually stay long, as they both try to move forward but set up traps with a pan falling on top of Hotaru. And both of them try to continue to find out, and they keep setting trap after trap. And probably using the same location that the sort of logo base from Saber, the same location that they're using for the Fortress. But get lost, as Ace wants to help them out, but Hotaru decided to not get tricked, quote unquote, again. Instead they go the opposite way where he was telling them to go, and lead to a trap door with them falling into some sort of water system like a river. Ace and Rina arrive to a throne room where they're attacked by some guns and blaster. Colin protects Ace from the little fortress, and it turns out the real fortress body is just a little tiny little toy. It's pretty funny as Rina just decided to capture it. It would make the illusion disappear. And Ace say that they gotcha it. And then Ace doesn't want to acknowledge Con at all. And he says he's still not a pet person and decides to ignore it again, which just makes it sad. Beasts don't make our little QB doll thing sad. And Rina comes in to just pet it because, he is good boy. And Con is a little happy that he's getting pet. Keiwa and Hotaru pretty much still wet from falling into the little river thing. As Keiwa says that Hotaru will never beat Ace in anything, as he's 2,000 years old, and he had too much knowledge on how to win games. But he still find a way to support him. Until Keiwa's tails gets on fire, and that's actually pretty funny to see that, he has a tail now. As they try to put it out, and he pulled out the little test result during the exam from his pocket. And we see his mom still up, waiting for Hotaru to come home, looking at pictures of him being young. Saying that like father, like son, with a picture of the dad still being hidden behind the little picture frame. Still wondering who that is in the actual show. Hopefully we get an answer soon. We did see Ace, Kon, and Rine all sleeping as Ace tried to pet Kon but stopped himself. And we see the next day as they find Extra Seal. As the Chemy ability, the mystery, as Keo and Hotaro come in to try to compete and try to get Extra Seal, but then later trap them in the little world, like it actually flips the world upside down, as Ace catches Rine, and she catches Kon in a pretty cool, elegant way, while Hotaro and Keo just fall face flat into the floor. Speaking of Hotaro and Keo, they try to fight off the little Yggdrasil, but get caught in like a force field and get pushed back far away, showing that he has spatial power. At 8, decided to turn to laser boost to have the same spatial powers to fight it off. As Keo and Hotaro found a crater, as Hopper 1 decided to tell Hotaro something and leads him to Beetle X, who is actually voiced, interestingly look at the cast, voiced by Ken, which is actually shocking to me as a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, because actually the voice of, I think, Jade and Yuki from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And I'll explain why he doesn't talk too much, because, of course not, he's probably too busy. Hotaro tried to befriend the Chemy, which actually seemed to work as Beetle actually decides to take the little friendship, holds him down, drags him somewhere, and Ace does some really weird CGI to attack Yggdrasil with a stalemate, until Beetle X and Hotaro come in as Beetle just breaks through Yggdrasil's shield easily, decided all they wanted was to eat the little sap on Yggdrasil. And Hotaro understands it, resulting in Hotaro getting both of them, actually befriending both. With Ace say that he was actually fooled for one, and they can say that Hotaro knew where Beetle X was, his location, before using it Yggdrasil. Which Hotaro decided to just take the credit, saying that yeah, that's the case, that's exactly what happened. Right, Kayla? And Kayla doesn't know what's happening. It's a little funny scene between them, I actually like it. We see Inspector Kugimiya cleaning his ring, saying that it's almost time, as we see everybody gather to Chemy, and X-Wizard agreed to let the 3 riders go, and transforming them back to human. And X-Wizard said that she'll give a present, and decided to turn herself into one of the Chemy cards, to Hotaro. Which is pretty weird how it seemed to be the ending, as Ace questions Kon who he is, as Gotchard intro played in the background. Hotaro says he'll capture all the Chemy, and they all take their leave and go home. And then some time passed, and 6 months passed, and Hotaro had actually become a big shot alchemist, even having the white clothes. And we see him in the shop with his mother. It's his mother saying not to worry about work or study. As Spaniard comes in being happy and smiling, which is red flag number 1. Saying he wants his food, which is also red flag number 2. And we see them coming to the shop with Sabi and Renge, who also want their food, but Sabi speaking pretty clearly without Isaac, and Renge being the weird clothes, as you saw in one of the episodes. And again, they all want the special Hotaro food. And Hopper wanted the sales Hopper. I say that they all work together to destroy Chemy law, and now human and Chemy are working together, living in peace. And again, as I say, probably another red flag. And everything seemed to be in peace until Kon appeared here and seemed to wake up Hotaro, as he said that all of this is wrong, and there's something not right. And Wizard appears, saying that it's all a dream. He's saying how he's making all of them a paradise, to not just Hotaro, but to every other character. And we see everybody have their desires revealed. And Neon and John are chasing after her Prince Charming, with her being a princess. Also making the biggest grill, having his co-worker calling him boss, which probably would have been sadder if Toru was there. That would have been pretty more messed up. As Carol becomes a police officer, interrogating the director of the movie, Shohei Yamaguchi, for a crime. And then give him some sobe in order to make him confess that it was him. And then the most cruelest one being Rina seeing her father alive, telling her how school was, saying that was good. It's just cruel to have a dead family member come back to life. So yeah, that's just cruel, man. Wizard say that she made the dreams a reality to come true, for them to have their ideal dreams and their wishes to come true in order to all of them become happy. As Kon decides to leave, as Hopper 1 and Spanner, Sabi, and Renge try to all uncomfortably make a Hotaro stay, along with his mother, but they reject it all and escapes to find that there's nothing outside. It just starts falling and meets Ace in his god form. And we see him falling down with Ace in his god form, and we see X-Wizard come in and Hotaro asking why she's doing this, as he has her own flashback saying that she likes she would play with kids back in the day and always liked interacting with humans. But it would always end with them going back home, leaving her alone. But we did see someone with a ring, red ring, trying to see something, you manipulate her probably. But it cuts before we actually see who they are. As they continue to fall with our protagonist, as she said that She tried to convince Hotaro to stay, but Hotaro said that he had a fight with his mother and said he needed to go back home because he acted a little too far for the things he said, which he kind of did, and wanted to go home to apologize. And 8 tells him that that's the wish, and decided he'll grant it, and he uses his powers to wake all of them up. I see everybody like wake up with Minato and Sumuri trying to wake everybody up, but they all did do, as Wizard is sad. But Hotaro says he still wants to believe in the Chemys, as it is gotcha to become friends with all the Chemy, and wants ex-Wizard to join them. And she seemed to agree until Kugimiya arrived, and he said that to not get trusted by it, and said that it all to further his plan, without getting that he's the guy from the flashback with the red ring, because he actually has seen that the same one. And further his plan and say that he must use to have his dreams come true, which it mostly had to revolve around Ace, and wanted to meet him, as he uses the little darkness power to turn ex-wizard with him to become amalgam, being the ex-wizard amalgam. Very pretty cool design. I like the little robe with the wizard on the amalgam, and I like the headpiece, the little like mask thing. Kind of reminds me of like Ghost Rider or something, like with the flaming head. It looks pretty cool. I really like the design. And say that you gotta begin the nightmare game and makes everybody in the planet fall asleep until their dreams and nightmare forces them to die. And wonder if Ace can finish this game. With Ace say he doesn't like this game, but he will find a way to finish it. As Ace turns forward to boost Mach 9 with Gotchard transformed to his base form with a pretty cool transformation to fight them off. Like I say, pretty cool dual protagonist. I really like the transformation sequence. As Kukimiya summoned Yamato as well as Yamato riders. And interestingly, Spanner and Azuma actually also transformed to help them out. How both protagonists fight them out. But I'm wondering, maybe it could have been K1 better because, primary and secondary rider. But then again, Spanner and Azuma work better together. It's a pretty cool fight scene as we see the alchemist pretty much unmatched by the Yamato as K1 and Neon decide to rescue them and decide to take them away. Yeah, pretty cool fight scene using Ace using like his little god powers, as Kukimiya also uses his power to make a cool evil sword and attack all of our riders and Balbaron. As the gang go to the alchemist base, as they all want to find out what's happening and what to do to help them out. And Minato brings in the Sun and Unicorn to combat Kukimiya's like little ex-wizard, her power, and to defeat the nightmare game. They said only a few can actually master the power. And Rina said that she wants to do it, and she seems to know what to do. And everybody else tried to fight out Kukimiya and the Yamato army. But again, it's a pretty cool action scene, really cool to see. Having some pretty interesting fight scene. It's pretty cool to see. As Spanner actually lands a finisher on Kukimiya with no effect, as Hotaro also lands another finisher with the gun, with the help of the Chemy to shoot at Kukimiya, which doesn't seem effective too much. As Kukimiya traps Spanner and Azuma, as Ace actually breaks free from the trap and tries to attack him, but then, as always, he gets some sort of bondage fetish again, as Ace gets trapped in some sort of weird chain tentacle thing to make him trapped inside the trap thing. He said as Kukimiya just started to wail on Hotaro, and pretty much Hotaro can't take him on by himself. As Wizard tried to break free, saying to Hotaro to help her out, but then Kukimiya just seals her back inside of him. And Hotaro gets mad and furious of what's happening, as Ace tells her to not give up. And we see Rina fall asleep to go back to the dream world, meet with her dad again, as she wants to know how to use the power of the Sun and Unicorn. As the alchemist tried their best to hold off the little head thing of Kukimiya until he breaks apart to summon Yamato, little army. Until Keiwa and Neon come in to help fight them off, transform into their final form. It's pretty cool to have Keiwa in the one little shot use this Bujin sword outside of transformation, which is pretty cool before turning into, his final form, Bujin sword. Really cool to see. And we see Rina's dad, Fuga, asks Rina if she has to resolve the fight, as she wants to protect others, become an alchemist like her dad and protecting others. When she sees the light the answer, decide to bestow her powers, as her ring changes the color from blue to red, and tells her to not give up and her little resolve. And the dream ends with saying that the Chemy will answer her call to help her fight against evil. We continue to see the fight as Keiwa and Neon try their best to hold off against the Yamato, and they're being wailed on later on until Rina wakes up as you get the alchemist driver and uses it to transform for the first time into Kamen Rider Gotchard. Well, not really, as he's still in the CGI form with a cool transformation with the solar system and all that, and still the solar system thing as he does a CGI light and demolishes all the Yamatos, negating the power of going somewhere. That somewhere being Hotaro, who is still being wailed by Kukimiya, as Ace is still trapped and being dragged around by the trap. And Ozuma and Spatter are both broken free, I get off screen. And both of them used their finisher to help Ace get free, with pretty much knocking them out of their transformation. And Ace decided to rejoin the fight. But Ozuma and Spatter are about to die until getting a sword stabbed through them, until Medjed arrived, which seemed to cancel out Kugimiya's magical power. And we see finally Medjed being revealed in her form, which, to be honest, I always like the suit. Looks really cool. I like the orange and white and blue, so not really much to say about it anytime soon. I started to defeat Kugimiya and decided to defeat him with some cool rider kick, using the little form to jump up and then kick him a bunch of times, and then does a pretty sick backflip, defeating him, making everybody wake up from their dream. As she thanks her father for her help, Kuga seems to actually agree to like what Rina said. And I guess this is the clone from the show, because he just disappeared. Ace says Rina is pretty strong, as Hotaro just happy that ex-wizard is back with him, calling her nickname Kroti. They're friends now, and said that they need a nickname for one another. Kugimiya is still alive and still has a grudge against Ace. As Ace asks who he is, as Kugimiya is mad that he doesn't remember, and says that he's been waiting 2,000 years for his revenge. And interestingly, 2,000 years ago, he was one of the competition against Ace back in the day, with the stupid orange wig, as a DGP member. And he wasn't actually fighting for the gold coin. Remember, back in the day in the Geats lore, that before Rider, they were actually fighting normal weapon and they got a gold coin as a victory token. But anyway, back in the day, he actually fought against Ace, but didn't get killed by Ace, and he said why, and Ace says he's not worth it, which is just pretty harsh. Which angers him that he wants revenge. I don't know why you want revenge over the fact that you didn't die, but okay, whatever. And Ace vaguely remember who he is, as Kugimiya has spent 2,000 years searching for him, learning alchemy in the way, mostly forbidden alchemy, to keep him alive, to meet Ace once again to have his revenge. How did he actually stay alive? Well, I gotta guess he also used some of the peacock undead power to keep him alive, but that's just my headcanon theory for why he's still so young. And wants Kroti as his goal. His eye used alchemy again to drag Kroti to him, as well as actually becoming amalgam again, the wizard amalgam, and decided to use the little black hole thing he created to absorb Ozuma and Spanner into him. They make the giant storm/portal to absorb all the people to gain power. And I'm just wondering, poor people, first they fall asleep, now they're getting sucked into a black hole. This has not been a good day for them. And yeah, everybody gets absorbed into the black hole, as well as Alchemist and Geats cat also getting sucked in. And he transforms back into, again, the amalgam form, and actually absorbs their power in order to become stronger. And decides to trap Ace and I, saying that he's the last piece in order to absorb Ace. And before he tried to stab him, Kon appeared to take the fall, getting stabbed himself to protect Ace, which is the good boy. He's a good boy. He comes in, he absorbs all the head pat. He is a good dog. Well, not really a dog, a fox, but still, yeah, he's still a good boy. He deserves head pats. And Ace wondered why Kon would do this, as Kugimiya decided to absorb Kon into him to fully become another Geat. The Geats amalgam. Yeah, that's it. Geats amalgam. And Hotaro says that he's going to stop him because it is just wrong. And he and Ace both transform into their basic, really cool rider form. Because it starts to rain, dramatically rain after all this. And it's pretty cool to see the rain and see both of them transform in the rain. I'm sorry, I just like rider transformation in the rain. It looks really cool. They transform to their base form, or to fight him off, as Kugimiya flies away and Hotaro and Ace chase after them in cool bike action, which is pretty cool to see, as it's called Kamen Rider for a reason. And also pretty cool to have Gold Dash, and we haven't seen it in a long time. And I'm just wondering, did they just leave Rina behind? Because Rina wasn't absorbed at all. I was just wondering if Rina should have been absorbed as well, because she just stayed behind awkwardly. Oh well. We see some cool bike action happening as they continue to follow Kugimiya and reach him. As Hotaro say that he can't play with Kroti's feeling and will stop him, or make innocent people also get hurt. And then they have a really, really cool one-take fight, and we see them fight against each other with the suit actors. They're using some really cool effects, really cool power. Also, as you can tell, it's a one-take fight scene because they don't cut away, and also because it seems like the person playing the Geats amalgams double makes a mistake. He doesn't catch Hotaro's punch at all, but then they just keep going with the scene. They make a mistake, he doesn't catch one of his punches. It's just not taking our take, just keep going. But again, it's really cool to see a one-take fight scene. I do like one-take fight scene. And Ace also uses little boost revolve on the amalgam to spin him around to attack Kugimiya until he just started wailing on them, and then actually does a pretty cool who will attack on their chest, breaking sound wave and sound barrier behind them, making an explosion. And they both fall to the floor. And again, pretty cool to see. Hotaro said he won't give up, and then the 5 of the 10 Chemy that they captured all come out. So yeah, Beetle X, Yggdrasil, and Kon and all that fortress all come together to form X Assemble. And he uses this with the caliber sword little thing in order to become Star Gotchard. Pretty cool to see that Kugimiya pulled a Sentai move and become a big monster. He started to fight against Hotaro, but then started to lose again as Hotaro actually beating him. And Ace become Boost Mach 9 again off screen, throwing his sword in front of Kugimiya's little forehead and uses it to prepare his finisher. And with a pretty cool finisher, and he'll grant his wish to lose to him. And both him and Hotaro prepare their rider kick and use it to attack Kugimiya, and Ace is upside down. It's pretty cool to see him upside down as actually continuing his kick. Defeating Kugimiya, freeing Kuroti and Kon, and doing a really cool pose in front of the explosion, which is pretty cool to see. After that, Kugimiya is arrested, and so hopefully we get to see him later on in the Gotchard show. I really want to see more of them. As Hotaro is just happy to be reunited with all the 6 level 10. At 8 comforts Kon, who still seems to be dying, and just petting him because again he's a good boy. And Ace actually has an epiphany, saying that he remembers who Kon is. And Kon starts to disappear and starts to speak for one. And interestingly, Kon is voiced by a VTuber named Shirakami Fubuki. I don't know who that is, so please tell me who she is down below. And we actually see the past as Kon was a pretty fluffy, adorable little good boy with young Ace named Constantine. So again, that's where the Kon comes from. I guess Kon spelled with a K or a C, I don't know. And they had pretty fun days, and he pretty much was Ace's best friend, and maybe was filled in with happiness back in the day. Until an accident happened that caused him to die, which is actually for the beginning of the film, which explains why he transformed to a fireball thing, and he pretty much didn't want to pass away yet, and he wanted to see Ace one more time. And also used an explanation why Ace didn't transform to a marketable plushie, and then he became the marketable plushie, as he came in front of Kroti's little magical beam to transform to the Geats Chemy. Kon is happy to at least be with Ace one more time. I guess just happy that they have a proper goodbye, as Kon becomes one with peace and decides to pass away with peace. As Ace cries over his friend's death once again. Pretty much tears of sadness and joy, as he's just happy to see him again, only to see him disappear once more time. And Alba says that even gods cry. And Kira says that it's time for everybody to go home. And Hotaro and Ace agree. And everybody says their goodbyes, and all of them all go their separate ways going back home. Ace visits his home, the Ukiyo household, with his doghouse still outside, which is pretty nice to see. And he disappears to continue his duty as god. Hotaro goes home to apologize to his mom, saying that it's his fault and he went a little too far, and saying that he'll help out work and study to make her not get mad and still not be mad at him. And she's still pretty mad, saying that she was hurt, and also tell her next time that she gotta stay over. But even after that, she still hugs him, telling him to welcome him back to the home. As the film ends with him saying that he's back to be home. As the credits play with the song All for Love plays in the background, and we see Kawa help an old lady cross the road, Neon's getting messages from Kyun, and Ozma continuing his job as a construction worker, and Sumuri taking care of Ace's little shrine with a stone buckle still from the end of the show. With a cool little fan art competition in the credits play out, I would see Hotaro make his Hotaro special from his dream, the blue rice and all that. As Kuroti appeared, they want to try some, and everybody eats. As Kuroti said that she looks forward for Hotaro's future dish, so yeah, she didn't like it. And it seemed like nobody else liked it, with Minato Arena doing the biggest hater, and they don't want to eat it at all. And Hotaro tried to convince them to eat the blue rice at least, but they don't want to. At the movie ends, interestingly with no future writer. You know how usually a crossover film they introduce a future writer? I'm gonna guess because Medjed, our secondary writer, was introduced in this film. So I'm guessing that's why there's no future writer appearing. So that's my theory of why we have no future writer in this movie. Overall, it was a pretty fine movie, pretty entertaining movie. Some things here and there probably could have been better. Like, I feel like the first half was a little rushed and was kind of boring for me to sit through. However, when the second half started with the whole DGP thing and Kugimiya being revealed as a DGP member, I just felt like things got interesting again. And I really liked the whole story element that was happening throughout the movie. And I really do like like the relationship between Ace and Hotaro. I thought they were pretty cool to see, like some sort of brother and sibling dynamic. Especially Hotaro and Keiwa, to see how similar the characters are to one another. Nothing much to say about Medjin. I'm still questioning how she got the power. You guys, it's supposed to be a dream, but I'm gonna get it because of magic from Crotty. The reason why she actually got the power to become Medjin. I still don't answer how Fuga later in the show gets her own power. As the ultimate driver, so that's still questioning as well. I will say this is a pretty nice movie. Nothing much to say, just a pretty wholesome, nice movie. Colin is adorable. Colin is best boy. Colin deserves also good head pat because he is a good boy. Alongside with Hopper 1, she is also good. Anyway, like I said, nothing much to say. Pretty enjoyable movie in the second half. I feel like the second half picks things up. And I think it's pretty cool to have so many cool fight scenes with a one-take fight scene and all that. Like, really cool. Rating wise, I give it a 7 out of 10. What do you guys think? Do you like this movie or do you not? Do you think the movie dragged or did you think that the movie was okay? Leave a comment down below to talk more about Kamen Rider. Peace.